Hello movie fans, new on the Movieslinger here with a special episode for Avengers fans out there. The heavy metal band Stigmata has released a new song called Heavy is the Head That Wears the Crown as a tribute to Avengers Infinity War. They have also released a music video featuring some Sri Lankan cosplayers. So I went and talked to the band's vocalist Suresh De Silva and their lead guitarist Tennyson Napoleon and got a great deal of insight into their writing process and how this whole project came about. So sit back and enjoy. Let's talk about the new song. So it's called Heavy is the Head That Wears the Crown.
Very good. You're one of the few guys who says it like it should be said. Pass it,
how was that?
Pass it to Teddy. He'll give a good answer for this.
Okay. You guys call the song, you say that the song is a tribute to the film Infinity War. Teddy is a bit shy.
Yeah.
No, he will talk.
Okay.
I'll just say one thing really quickly.
Okay.
We'll both have to
Sure.
So what we'll do is I will do this like a movie where Tenny's saying his thing and I'll interject like Quentin Tarantino and tell a part of what's happening.
Okay.
So you say how it came about and I'll talk about the whole comic and the gauntlet and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. So what I'd like to know is
Yeah.
what inspired you to write the song? And was this song written in anticipation of the film? Was it written for the film?
Yeah, definitely. Because the requirement was these Comic Con guys, they contact guys. It was Shane and Nushan. So those guys wanted to do a small Sri Lankan version of the trailer.
Okay. Those are the cosplayers in the video. Okay.
So they wanted to do the Sri Lankan version of it and they wanted like a heavy, hard-hitting soundtrack. And their idea was they wanted to recreate that whole sound again. So we said, okay, why not we create something for you guys, like a song or something written for you guys.
Okay.
So the basic idea came from there. So it was written in mind of like a video, like a trailer, like kind of thing. So that's where the whole sound of it came about.
Okay.
So that's very much of a different song for us also because it was aimed towards like a theatrical element to support. So so that's where the song idea came about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting into the lyrics of the song, I think this goes Suresh. Okay. Do the lyrics have any thematic relevance to the film or superhero films in general?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
What are those themes?
Being ardent comic fans and stuff, we are familiar. Well, there's a 6-part comic series called Infinity, and then there's the Infinity Gauntlet original series, which we are familiar with the story. So, I mean, having grown up on comics, it was a big deal for us, the Civil War and the very concept itself, Infinity Gauntlet. And so we hadn't seen the film, so it was a challenge. We just saw the trailer, and based on the trailer, we had to derive kind of a concept and a feel of complementing that first trailer, which was tricky. But at the same time, to be able to elaborate and narrate what's going on, the whole story. So it is in the perspective of a general narrative, lyrically, how it starts. And it's a question asked that everyone wants to be on one hand, everyone wants to be on top. But what happens when you're on top? What after that? So it's in multiple perspectives. It's in the perspective of Thanos. Now, is Thanos a hero? Is he a villain? He's a villain, of course, because he destroys half the universe. But he's not the traditional villain.
He has a logic behind
He has a logic behind it, and this is the saddest thing. He's right. He's right.
Nobody wants to admit it.
No one wants to admit it. The only way to resolve anything what's going on, and I don't mean this in the perspective of like Mussolini or Adolf Hitler, but I mean, if I was Thanos and I'm thinking about it, he's not crazy. He's not talking about complete genocide, and he's not like Galactus and who's that other fucker from DC?
He's not crazy. He's not.
Yeah, though they call him the Mad Titan. And in a way, they humanized him so much in the movie. It was incredible. Like the comic, he's not humanized. He's very, very tyrannical. Here, he's very humanized.
So you think they improved on the comic?
Certainly.
In that aspect.
In that aspect. And they did it brilliantly, because through 10 years, they just gave us bits and pieces and glimpses of this guy called Thanos. And suddenly, we watched Infinity War, and most of the movie is about him.
He is the main character.
He is the main character. And after a while, he's kicking everyone's ass, and you're wondering, okay, maybe that guy deserved it. But so, like, we're writing it in the narrative also of what it means to be a superhero or to have powers, and how far you would go to protect and defend that which you love. The premise is very, very straightforward and simple. But like all our lyrics, there has to be a duality to it. So there's also the perspective of... For me, it was very interesting because I'm a guy that's always criticized humanity on all 4 albums, essentially, where I could.
Your own, like, those albums?
Yes. Where I've taken shots at a lot of people lyrically. You name it. But we're not a political and religious band, but we've covered those stuff as well. But one thing I have never had to do was to try and see the benefits of humanity, the grace and the within the futility of being human, the fragility of it, that there is something more. So it also deals with that. It deals with what is it that makes us human, and then how far would we go to protect and preserve our humanity, and to protect ourselves, and to protect what we love and who we love and that which we love, and at what cost. So it's dealing with a lot of those things. But if you're going strictly on trailer and going on comic and everything, then it's like a narrative. It's almost like what Nick Fury starts off saying, which is like, what we had an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if they could do what we could not, or something like that. So that sentiment is there. Also Stark and Captain America, the conflict, the burden of being who they are and the decisions you have to make. And then, of course, the story unravels. And then in the song, in the end, of course, there is Thanos all the way, kicking ass.
So, when you talk about the crown, you're talking about the responsibility. Like, he knows what he has to do, and he's the only one who's willing to do it. Is that what you're referring to?
Interestingly, in one perspective, yes. But also, you might not necessarily know what you're going to do, but you know you have this power, this burden, this responsibility. Like half the time, Spider-Man didn't know what the fuck was happening in the movie. But then he became Iron Spider, which was, I didn't see that happen. And that was one of the most badass things ever. Legs came out and everything, right? Look at us geeking out. And like, he became Iron Spider, and this is the best part. Because I'm a guy who loves studying and watching interviews of different actors and the ideology behind it, and directors and producers and writers and that kind of thing. And one of the most interesting thing is, in all the interviews, Tom Holland can't keep his mouth shut, Spider-Man. Yes. So they don't tell him anything. They've only shown him bits of the script that he's in. So he can't spoil it very well. He's just crazy. And him and Mark Ruffalo.
They even got Benedict Cumberbatch to interrupt him when he's about to say something.
Yeah. And Benedict Cumberbatch says, no, in that cool, placid way of his, I'm his daddy. I was just marveling. I don't know whether you saw what the actual review of Heavy is the Head looked like on the Daily Financial Times. I mean, when you look at the link, it doesn't prepare you for... And this is a paper that quintessentially focuses on the stock market and people's... the consumerism culture, but also dealing with lots of different things, economically speaking. So that goes to say something when the Daily FT is featuring a heavy metal band in the country.
Something has happened.
Yes, it has. At least it's being noticed by a very interesting avenue of, I would say, diligent people in different vocations and industries now.
I know they're aware of this now.
They are. A lot of these things are firsts for us. And even with the new single, it's a first for us. I mean, we were checking today, and I think after the paper articles on Saturday and Sunday, we've had maybe 500 or 600 additional views for the thing. So, I mean, it's getting close on hitting 4K. And that is, if you really think about it, less than 14 days. I mean, it normally takes us to hit 4K without any exaggeration, with a lot of promo, maybe 2 months, 3 months. Without promo, about half a year. So, things are happening. And, we work really, really hard. So, I don't know. Hopefully, it'll just open up and lead us to like better things and better shows and better opportunities.
So, you got some cosplayers involved in this video. So, they actually approached you guys like Kenny was saying. So, I see that, and I also see that Stigmata and the geek community is quite close. You guys have performed in Comic-Con. Tell me a bit about that relationship.
That's a very good question. I'd say that it's a good relationship in context where in our own independent ways and collectively as a whole, holistically, we are trying to ascertain and make sure that creativity flourishes. So they're doing it in their own way, and they're doing it with a lot of gusto and bravado and spirit. And we've been doing our thing for such a long time, so we understand how difficult it is. I mean, if you were in fucking San Diego, you were in Amsterdam, these cosplayers would be legends. I mean, they're quite legendary here. I'm not saying they're not, but what I'm trying, they'd be celebrated. Exactly, and they would be celebrated more. Now, if I would say this actually publicly, if we were any other genre of music, and a lot of these heads in radio and TV and all didn't have a personal prejudice against our style of music and then who and what we are, if this was any other genre that were the underdogs and achieved this amount of views and likes in such a short span of time, by now they would have got a whole heap of publicity. I'm not saying we are not appreciative of the Daily FT and the Sunday Times and all that stuff, but at some point after all this time, it finally feels like we are kind of breaking through some of the cracks and moles that were maybe impenetrable before for whatever reason.
That's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing at all. We are reaching a larger audience and a bigger crowd.
So talking about the music video, the music video is played at a screening of the film. So can you give me a few details about that?
Tenny will give you a few details about that.
Yeah, so the screening was organized by our batch, 2002 A-level, St. Thomas College batch. Class of 2002 A-level batch. So basically what happened was, we was really excited because it was going to go on the big screen and all. So
It's a big thing.
So we went and checked it out. But one of the things was like making sure that it sounds Sri Lankan also, and it has that whole Sri Lankan element also. So actually in the writing process, we were trying to capture that whole Sri Lankan feel and the vibe and that energy and all that.
The guitar part.
The guitar part, yeah. And because they were like, the idea was basically came from like two Annams, like there are 16 Annams. So this is like a combination of inspired by like few Vannams like the Ukusu Vannama and like there's another Hansa Vannama. So it's like a combination of both. But since we were like really focusing on getting the Sri Lankan feel, it was also we were also going to feature like Sri Lankan drums and stuff like that. But we were in a tight deadline to finish everything, so we went ahead with the whole song and it came out like awesome. Like we are really happy with the track.
So you got it done in like a very short time.
Oh
Yeah,
To write it and practice it and then record it. How long was that?
yeah, actually more.
We were
Yeah.
approached like in January,
Okay.
and then in February,
In
and then
Feb,
in
we
March
had,
for the big match we were ready with the song. We
Oh.
didn't play it at the Royto
Okay.
because we made
Yeah.
a collective choice that it may not have gone down well there.
Okay.
And then we played it for the first time at Bar Collective, the 18th anniversary show.
Okay.
And that went okay. And we kind of refined the song, rehearsed it more, and we played it at MSR, and people lost their shit for that.
Mosh Scream Rock.
Mosh Scream Rock.
Oh,
Yeah. So during that time only we recorded it. We had about more than writing. Well, it was pretty quick writing.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 2 months we had. 2
When
months.
pushed your deadline, Masang, we can write really fast.
Under
Like
pressure.
he,
Under pressure. You
No,
know.
like he has full songs that he's written that he doesn't always present all the time. Like
Okay.
I have enough lyrics, and I'm not exaggerating, for at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
And like I keep writing new lyrics, and then I put old ones away, and
Sometimes you go back to them.
you go back to them, and all that happens. But right now we are in a headspace where we kind of know while we're conceiving and writing new music. It's very exciting because one thing we're hearing from a lot of people is that this is a new sound. I mean, people are saying, okay, there's a Digenti vibe to it. There's Ice Earthish vibe, and then some people are like, there's a vibe we don't even know what vibe it is. It's
You don't know what to call
it's
it.
like Rush on steroid. And then there's so many different points of view. And what I really came to my conclusion was that it is actually like a new sound, because no one really does that. Because with a lot of these backgrounds of this if you take music, the instrumental landscape, not a lot of people vocally and melodic wise and structure wise really does what we do. So our, like, the proper word is juxtaposition of what we do with the music, and then the melodies and everything is
Yeah.
like pretty unique.
We are happy that it doesn't sound like anything else out there also, and feedback has been good also because they've been understanding it that way, so it's good. Like otherwise it takes a while for people to grasp things, so, and to identify what it's about or what it sounds like. Like people always try to look for similarities, sometimes like a pattern, like what happens in nature most of the time.
We look for patterns.
We look for
That's
patterns, yeah.
So,
yeah.
the formula of what makes us Stigmata, all of it is there, certainly.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same way, it's fresh and it's exciting, and it doesn't sound like a band that has lost its spark or lost its fuel or flame or like anything like that. I mean,
You can
for
feel
a
the
person
passion in the song, yeah.
for a person who doesn't know, if they see this, they'll a lot of them probably would think this is a new band. And for us, that's good, that freshness and that reinvigoration is kind of there. It's important, because if you think about it musically, we've traveled a lot of different roads, and we can proudly say that we have no shame now with experience to travel a straightforward road, reach a crossroad, turn at a junction, maybe go on another straight road. It doesn't matter, whatever works.
Yeah, we're going to keep things exciting and new. So
And we'll keep
it's going to
this
be,
thing.
yeah.
And once again, we have done the famous Stigmata thing. The question was, how
Oh,
did it
shit.
come about to the movie being screened?
Yeah, so our
That's
batchmates were
something.
screening the movie. So then we thought, hey, guess what?
20 minutes later, 20 minutes later, the answer.
Yeah, so we wanted to. Hey, who contacted really? Well, anyway, it was our batchmates, right? So we just.
Varuna
Yeah.
and Rishan Ganegoda. Varuna Yantravaduge and Rishan Ganegoda.
Yeah.
So,
So good souls. Those two guys contacted and
These are
then
from
we-
the movie theater side?
No, these guys are actually our batchmates.
Okay,
So, so they heard about the video and all, and they're like, "Hey, guess what? Why did you guys?"
they
do
were doing a
something like
private
that?"
screening
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
as a
Yeah.
fundraiser for infrastructure development project of college,
Okay.
as the batch of 2002. And so then they spoke to us and they said, listen, you have this thing coming, why don't you do it? And I was quite surprised. And I was like, really? Because
That has never happened before.
it's never happened before, let's say. So that kind of support and advocacy from these guys was a big deal for us.
Yeah, also because after we did the college thing also, like we did
Yeah.
something for college and that was also
And that's the
really
thing,
cool.
I checked. That has 1,400 views when it was done in like St. Thomas's College. This is closing on 4K. Again, another. For a. It's just like an underground, this thing, it's pretty crazy. Over here, it's crazy. And when you consider the population and you consider how many people listen to English music,
And
it's
it's
less than
heavy metal.
2%. And out of that,
How many heavy metal?
Exactly.
That's true. So it's definitely a first. How fast it got the
No, and the positive reactions, I guess. And the first time,
it was screened at a movie theater, I think.
that someone
music
corrected
video.
me saying I'm wrong. That
Okay.
apparently there's a pop or a hip hop act that
Okay.
before a movie managed to. This was told to me by Yasmin Yusuf. So,
Okay.
like she Decibel, she probably knows her shit. Certainly the first rock and metal band to be being asked, and it's certainly a big deal. And I would also think, in terms of college, it's the first time even we have been asked
Yeah.
to do something like this. I mean, it's one thing to have a dinner dance and to be asked to come and perform. Everyone does that.
This is something
And-
totally different.
And this is the thing, man. They didn't have to play the full video. Because of that, they didn't have time to show any of the other more up and coming movies. That's the
so
amazing thing.
So they
Nobody
cut down
noticed
on
that.
the trailers and
They cut
Yeah.
those completely. No commercials. Nothing. Like normally, how many commercials?
Yeah, you
see
sit for
from
like half an hour before it
baby
starts.
tips to
Yeah.
bloody sunglasses to ANC,
So-
10-minute commercials.
yeah, around 4.5 minutes of it.
And just 4.5 minutes
Yeah.
of us. And it was quite tense because you have batchmates there with the wives with tiny kids, and then you have like other people there and guests, and you don't know.
it
I
must
mean,
have been
for us,
overwhelming.
it's cool.
It must have been overwhelming, right?
We are in BNC and we
We
are
were
like,
like,
when
we are like checking it out for
we
the first
are-
time on a big screen.
we are like Thanos.
That's how we look like on the.
And for us, it was like great, and you know, childhood dream come true.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone told us when we were kids that for like a movie where Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and like Thor and Hulk and Iron Man and all these people were there, that a song we created and a video done here locally was going to be shown in a cinema. Doesn't matter whether it was here, it was still really, really memorable for us. And see, that's the shit that gets us hard. Let me rephrase. Gets us going.
More parently friendly way of saying it.
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
fortune, fame, and like that whole. No, it's to be appreciated for your art, Matang, is a feeling beyond anything else. That is the truth.
And I would like to congratulate you guys. This happened. This is great.
thanks,
Happy for you
dude.
guys.
Thank you for being here, man. I mean, it's for you. You've come here. You've almost been attacked by timber wolves. Cats almost jumped on your head, going.
So getting back to the geek community. So you guys performed at the Comic Con as well.
Yes.
Right? And I think your book first there. I think you
I didn't launch it there. I launched it at Barefoot, but it was sold there.
it was all there.
Sold and it kind of sold out there.
Okay. And so you guys consider yourself to be geeks? You're fans of comic books
In
and
our own way, I guess so.
your whole life?
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a... See, Majan, at the end of the day, we're still fans of what we do. That sounds narcissistic. Let me rephrase. We're still fans of heavy metal music and rock and roll. And we're fans of art and comics and films and movies and TV series and animations and like all those things. And we're all very, very different. Like these two will tell you like Japanese anime shit to blow your mind. To me, I have mastered the art from them to take things in one ear and put it out in the other ear. To me, that shit don't work. But see, that's how different we are. Even like musically, movies. I mean, we agree on a ton of shit. But again, that conflict of interest creates a spark of creativity. That is a good quote for me to be quoted when I'm dead 100 years from now.
So with this music video, I think you guys brought together two things that you love. Music.
But you know, this is the first music video, bro. this first version of the music video. Tell him.
Oh, you have another music video coming.
There's
And we'll exclusively let you see it today before the world.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is it? It's in the link.
I have the bloopers. You saw the bloopers one.
But is it the final?
Bloopers?
Yeah.
You guys still in the process of editing it, or?
No,
The bloopers, yeah, but not the other music video is done. We are just waiting for the right time to release it.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're waiting for.
When will you guys be releasing the new video?
We are hoping if all goes well to drop the bloopers tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're going a bit Deadpool on people's asses now.
Oh,
so we
nice.
released the cosplay one and then the bloopers.
That's perfect timing.
And perfect timing. And then we are playing Rock Saturday on the 26th May
Okay,
at
okay.
Women's International Hall. Women's International Hall? Who would have thought? I went back to my falsetto voice there. What was the question?
Well, so my question was, when can we expect the bloopers video
music.
that's coming tomorrow?
Maybe,
Oh.
maybe since 26th May is the gig, maybe that week
on
will
the
time
week.
and...
So sometime towards the end of May, we can
Yes.
expect the second video.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
As bad as it's because that is actually the official band video
Okay, okay.
without the cosplayers,
Okay.
but it doubles as a lyric video.
Okay.
So,
So there's some artwork, something going on. What's
well, the
what's
lyrics are
happening?
going on.
Lyrics are going on. Okay. Okay.
And there's a lot of different footage that's not there in the cosplay.
Oh, okay, okay. So more from the band, I'm guessing.
And it's black and white.
fully.
Oh,
Whereas
okay.
the cosplayers one is color.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay.
It's like a full band video. So
Full
it's
band
all the
video.
band guys in it and like really excited about that.
Okay.
Next video, we are hopefully trying to get some girls in because then we'll have around 20,000 hits.
Definitely happening, is it?
I'm kidding.
It's an exclusive.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's more or less all the questions I want to ask you guys. So thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you
So-
for having us.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Or rather, letting us have you.
Tell our listeners, okay, where can they find the song? Where can they find the song and where can they find the video? How can they listen to it?
Yeah, video, you can check it on YouTube on our official channel.
Okay.
Song, we still haven't released the track separately as single. Most probably after the video, next video comes out, we are actually might put it out
Okay.
as single. But this is like a one-off track which we did, so we are like gonna focus on like writing more material like for like album. Like
The new
stuff.
album and everything.
Yeah. So
So there's a new album in the works.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So this I think we might release a single sometime. So, yeah, hopefully. But the main objective is for the video. So
Yeah.
So this is sort of like a one-off thing, and then
one-off thing we did.
One off thing, but I think this is a song that will be on the album.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of the things that's not. My phone. That's my mother, I think. Oh dear.
okay. So we can find the video on YouTube and also follow you guys on
Facebook.
Facebook also, yeah.
Okay.
And our website will be up soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the interview.
No problem. Thank you very much for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.